My name is Amelia Whitaker, 32 years old, and after 7 long years away, I never imagined I'd set foot in my family's company again. I walked into that towering glass building in dark jeans and a cream blouse, hoping my first encounter would be a warm embrace from my sister Clara. Instead, I got a splash of cold cola across my face and a sharp order to clean it up, as if she thought I was part of the custodial staff. Little did she know that the documents tucked safely in my leather satchel named me the company's new CEO. Her days of running Whitaker Systems into the ground were already numbered. Far from our hometown of Providence, Rhode Island in Seattle, I had built a life I was proud of. 7 years earlier, I'd left with nothing but my computer science degree, a stubborn streak, and the quiet ache of betrayal pushing me forward. Through relentless work, I climbed my way up to senior software designer at one of the country's top tech firms. My apartment overlooked the Puget Sound. My circle of friends respected me, and for the first time I had begun to patch over the wound Clara had left. Then the phone rang. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. The moment I heard my father's weakened voice, I knew something was wrong. "Amelia, I need you to come home," he said, each syllable carrying weight. "The doctors say it's congestive heart failure. They're not sure how much time I have." I booked the earliest flight. For all the hurt between us, my father had always been my anchor. Losing him without reconciling was unthinkable. Clara and I hadn't always been enemies. We were 2 years apart, sharing not just clothes but dreams. I remembered the nights in our shared room sketching plans to grow the modest software company our dad had built from a spare bedroom. "You'll design the products," she used to say with that teenage gleam in her eye, "and I'll sell them. We'll be unstoppable." But that dream died in college. For my senior capstone, I developed an advanced inventory management system. My pride, my exhaustion, my obsession for 18 months. I'd spent nights in the computer lab curled on a chair instead of going home. During our weekly calls, I told Clara everything. I thought I was sharing progress with my biggest supporter. 2 weeks before my final presentation, I discovered she had entered my idea, my work, into a business competition, presenting it as her own. She won first place and $25,000 in seed funding. When I confronted her, she didn't flinch. "Ideas are nothing without execution," she'd said, voice cool. "You'd have just tinkered forever. I'm actually building something." That night, I packed a suitcase and left Providence without a goodbye. I blocked her number, erased her from my online life, and limited contact with my father to short, infrequent calls. The sting didn't fade. In the years since, I learned her company had burned through the prize money and folded within months without me to build the product. She'd returned to Whitaker Systems, eventually becoming acting CEO when Dad's health began to decline. Now sitting in his hospital room, the steady beep of machines in the background, he told me the truth. "The company is struggling, Amelia," he said, gripping my hand with surprising strength. "Clara has heart but not your vision. We've lost 3 major clients this year." "That's not my problem anymore, Dad," I said quietly. "I have my own life." He reached for a folder on the table and pressed it into my hands. "As of next Monday, you'll be CEO of Whitaker Systems. Clara doesn't know." I stared at him. "She'll never accept this." "The board has approved it unanimously," he replied. "Before you take over, I want you to go in, see it for yourself, get a real sense of what she's built. Go in low profile. Observe. You want me to spy on my own sister? I want you to understand the ground before you start rebuilding it," he said. Later in my hotel room, I pulled out my laptop. A quick search turned my stomach. Declining sales, scathing employee reviews, outdated products. Whitaker Systems, once an industry innovator, was sliding toward irrelevance. By morning, my mind was made up. I'd walk in exactly as Dad suggested. Not as Amelia Whitaker, successful designer, but as just another woman coming back to reconnect with family. I had no idea the moment that would make my next steps crystal clear. The Whitaker Systems building didn't look like the one I'd known. The modest 3-story structure my father had bought when I was a teenager was now glass and chrome, sleek and impersonal. The warm oak panels and simple logo Dad had chosen were gone, replaced by corporate minimalism. I went to the reception desk where the young woman there, Haley, was scrolling through her phone, barely glancing up when she finally asked, "Can I help you?" "I'm here to see Clara Whitaker," I said casually. Haley's gaze skimmed over my jeans and ponytail, a flicker of judgment crossing her face. Do you have an appointment? It's Amelia. Amelia Whitaker. Her expression shifted, but she said nothing. Just picked up the phone. After a short, clipped conversation, she told me Clara was in meetings all morning and gestured toward a seating area. I sat watching the flow of employees. Designer suits, tense faces, quick steps. No laughter, no chatter, just a low hum of stress. After an hour of waiting, I wandered the halls. No one stopped me. I passed glass-walled conference rooms where voices were raised, cubicles where employees minimized browser windows the moment a supervisor walked by. Whispers about layoffs replaced casual talk. One conversation in particular caught my ear. Two developers muttering over coffee. She's gutting the dev team, one said bitterly. All that budget's going to marketing. She's selling dreams we can't deliver. A commotion by the executive suites pulled my attention. A meeting was letting out. Laughing loudly was a woman in a crimson dress and stilettos so sharp they looked dangerous. Clara. Her once soft curls were now a sleek, sharp bob. Her makeup was perfect, her laugh cold. She didn't see me at first. She was talking to the man beside her, a can of Coke in hand. Then it happened. He made a joke. She threw back her head to laugh and the soda sloshed over her dress. What the hell? She snapped, eyes darting around for someone to fix it. They landed on me. Can you deal with this? She demanded. I froze. She didn't recognize me. Are you new? Where's your cleaning cart? This needs to be sorted right now. It hit me like a slap. 7 years. Yeah, I said. It's worse than you thought. I called my dad. The culture is toxic. Morale is gone. And Clara, I hesitated. She humiliated me in front of the entire executive team. A deep sigh. I feared as much. She's surrounded herself with people who tell her only what she wants to hear. Do what needs to be done, Amelia. So I did. I pored over financials, industry reports, and anonymous employee reviews. Revenue down 30% in 3 years. Customer complaints up nearly 50%. Employee turnover highest in company history, especially in development. Meanwhile, marketing budgets and executive salaries had ballooned. I compiled a list of Clara's executive team, along with performance metrics and salaries. It was a bloated, overlapping mess of underperformers. By midnight, I had a 3-month turnaround plan. Streamline management, refocus on product innovation, rebuild client trust, restore a healthy culture. I texted 3 former colleagues from Seattle, people I trusted implicitly. By morning, I had verbal commitments from all 3 to join me in rebuilding Whitaker systems. The next day I dressed for war. Tailored black suit, sleek bun, steady breath. When I walked into the executive conference room, Clara was mid-presentation trying to spin a steep downward sales chart into a positive trend. 8 people, coffee cups scattered, avoiding eye contact, looked up as I entered. What are you doing here? Clara snapped. I'm here, I replied, setting my briefcase on the table, as the new CEO of Whitaker Systems. Confused, concerned murmurs rippled through the room. Her CFO, Martin Wells, took the paperwork from me and read it. His expression hardened. These are legitimate, he said. Clara went pale. Dad would never. On speakerphone, our father's voice cut her off. It's true, Clara. This was a unanimous board decision. I expect you to handle the transition professionally. The call ended. Silence fell. I looked around the table. Effective immediately, the executive team is terminated. Severance packages are in these envelopes. Security will escort you out. The protests were loud, but I didn't flinch. When Clara tried to frame it as revenge for the Coke incident, I met her eyes. This is about saving a company our father spent 30 years building, I said evenly. She shoved her envelope back toward me. I quit. So be it. By afternoon, word of the executive firings had spread through every hallway and break room in the building. Employees stood in clusters, eyes darting toward me as I passed. Some looked hopeful, others wary. In the cafeteria, our only space big enough to fit everyone, I stood at the front, facing more than 100 employees. My name is Amelia Whitaker, I began. Some of you know me, others are meeting me for the first time. As of this morning, I am your new CEO. A ripple of surprise moved through the crowd. I caught Haley, the receptionist, in the front row, her face flushed, clearly remembering how she'd treated me yesterday. "I'll be honest," I continued. "Whitaker Systems is in trouble. Revenues are falling, products are outdated, and customer satisfaction is at a low. That's not your fault. Leadership sets the tone, and leadership has failed you." I explained the executive changes, then laid out my vision. Returning to innovation, investing in people, rebuilding trust with our clients. "I can't promise there won't be more changes," I said, scanning the room. "But I can promise you this. Decisions will be based on skill and performance, not favoritism or office politics." The tension began to shift. Employees started asking questions about job security, the product roadmap, the future. I answered each one openly, even when the answer wasn't easy. By the end, there was something in the air I hadn't felt since I walked in the day before. Cautious optimism. That night, I stayed in the office until nearly midnight, reviewing every department report and speaking with team leads. By the second day, I knew exactly who my key players would be and who needed to go. Then the inevitable call. "Clara's filed for an emergency injunction to block your appointment." The hearing was set for the next morning. In court, her lawyer painted her as the loyal daughter betrayed by my sudden takeover. My argument was simpler. Dad had been competent when he signed the transfer. The board had voted unanimously, and the numbers showed her leadership had led us toward collapse. The judge denied her request without hesitation. Back at the office, I assembled my new leadership team. Martin from finance, Marcus from development, Laura from customer service, and Olivia, my former colleague from Seattle, as chief product officer. The changes were immediate. Developers who had left under Clara began returning. Customer complaints slowed. Employees lingered in the hallways, laughing, brainstorming, enjoying their work. And then an unexpected text from Clara. "We need to talk. Starbucks by the hospital tomorrow. 10 a.m. Dad urged me to go. "You've won, Amelia," he said. "Now see if you can win your sister back." The next morning, Clara arrived in jeans and a sweater, hair pulled into a ponytail. Without her entourage, she looked smaller, younger, almost like the sister I remembered. She didn't apologize immediately, but she listened. And for the first time in years, we really talked about the past, the Coke incident, the theft in college. I offered her a new role, Director of Client Relations. Lower pay, no direct reports, but an opportunity to rebuild trust and prove her worth. On Monday morning, she walked into the office, accepted the role, and got to work. 3 months later, Whitaker Systems was unrecognizable in the best way.